We now have a video via Diario AS on YouTube of the Paul Bissonnette fight that took place in the state of Arizona. In the footage, a group of 6 men who have been arrested and face charges appear to get physical with a member of the wait staff at Houston's. Bissonnette would later be heard on body cam saying to the men, if they keep causing problems, they can all step outside. He said, right after stating this, that they threw punches at him. Security video that has been released by the cops show families running as fast as they can out of the restaurant after it all goes down. Parents with carriers, random patrons, everybody gets out of there quickly. An adjacent security camera would show Bissonnette bobbing and weaving in a parking lot as the 6 men hunt after him. They continue stalking him down as Biz backpedals to safety. At this point, we all know what's coming. It is an unfair fight. It is 6 against 1. Unless Biz is prime Mike Tyson, it will not go his way in the parking lot. And unfortunately, it didn't. They keep running after him, with the man in green, identified as Danny Bradley, leading the way. Biz and Bradley exchange words. Security camera from another building would capture the scenes. The gang of men get to Paul Bissonnette. One individual, who appears to be Henry Mesker, chases after the ex-NHL player and gets him to the ground. Then the men who are allegedly part of a group called the Irish Travelers, which we have covered in a previous video and will do so in a moment as well, put their hands on Biz, wrestle him to the ground once more, and the violence would continue. The man in red, who would be identified as Sean Daly, is clearly, and I mean clearly, seen kicking Paul Bissonnette over and over and over and over and over. Bissonnette would say he got boot-effed by them. Biz would finally get up, escape, and that's when reports say he would go into a neighboring CVS store. Meanwhile, after the assault, police would find Sean Daly outside of his hotel. They would place him in handcuffs, and Daly would cry foul, playing dumb, asking why. When the police sought information, he repeated the following line over and over again: I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, etc. Later on, he'd say, I just want to go home. And even asked the officer to take the handcuffs off. Obviously, this would not happen. They would place him under arrest and lead him to a squad car.
What's the story?
The story is that our camera saw you 4 involved in a physical fight over there with somebody else.
There was some stuff going on over there. We weren't involved.
We wasn't involved. I never saw a punch.
Okay. Well, I'm not so much concerned about you 3. It was him specifically.
Who?
This gentleman in the bright green shirt.
Whatever. We need to work it all out, but I mean, I'm 55 years old. I'm sitting here. I'd like to know what's going on.
Well, you're all detained. None of you are free to leave because we're investigating an assault. So that's what's going on right now.
An assault on who?
Huh?
On who?
An assault on the guy over there. So we're just going to hang out for a minute.
I guess it's guilty to prove an innocent.
I'm sorry?
It's guilty to prove an innocent?
No, I said that you are detained.
I understand, but I mean, we're just...
So then you don't understand.
I do understand, but
okay,
why?
So then what's the question?
I'm asking you, why are we detained? We never done nothing wrong. We tried...
Because he was described as the primary aggressor, and he was with you 3 when you all fled from the fight.
Was guilty to prove an innocent.
No.
You're not being charged. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, you're making an argument that doesn't exist, bud.
I'm not making an argument of nothing. You got us sitting on curb like dogs.
You are detained. You don't get to go anywhere. It's not up to you.
I'm not going to place.
So then what's the question?
I'll stand here and talk to you like a gentleman.
Oh, so the sitting down is the problem?
Yeah.
Okay,
I've got
so
bad
let me
knees.
explain that
I've
to
got
you.
bad knees.
Let me explain that to you. Whenever we're in contact with somebody, we place them in a position of disadvantage. That way, if they try to attack us, we have the advantage. That's why you're seated.
I'm not trying to hurt nobody.
I'm not saying that you are, but that is
I
how
got bad knees.
that is how we contact everybody. We are the police. We've never met any of you. We were told that all of you were involved in a fight, so that's what we're going to do.
Then another video is released via police body cam, showing from left to right, it appears, Danny Bradley, then either Edward Jennings or John Carroll, another individual who was blurred out, and then one more. To reiterate, all 6 would be charged for their roles in the brawl.
Step this way. Step this way. Step this way.
Bradley would get arrested in this video. In another, Mesker would be questioned by police, giving his side of the story. Ironically, this follows a separate fight video we covered, where some members of the group are seen duking it out with the waitstaff at another restaurant prior to the Biz fight at Houston's. Meanwhile, Bissonnette would speak on it via his show, Spittin' Chicklets, via the Barstool Sports Network.
So let's start with the top guy, top left, John Carroll. So John Carroll is brother to William Carroll, the old that I knocked out with my right hook. And John Carroll is actually one of the guys that was trying to boot my head off my shoulders like he was kicking a 50-yard field goal. I knocked out his inbred, coked out brother, William Carroll. And moving along here, Sean Daly, this little who went in front of the judge, who basically insinuated he's not going to be coming back for his December 10th court date until she was stunned by his response and was like, no, you have to come back. That's that little Sean Daly. One of the other young, Henry Mesker, was one of those 4 guys past the dumpster that was throwing punches and kicks. I feel a little bad for this old, I don't know how he got roped in all this, Edward Jennings, but we're going to undercover a little bit of his past and a little bit of his family matters a little bit later. The main guy that I would love to get locked in a room with is this Danny Bradley. I didn't know any of these guys' history, right? My assumption was these guys were on a golf trip. They had one too many cocktails. They ended up coming over to Houston's. It was the wrong setting for them. And they just had poor judgment, were being complete. And then we ended up getting into the debacle that we got into. Well, sure, not only a day later, maybe a little after 24 hours, this gentleman online, he goes by the name of Shay Stevens.
And that's something we covered previously. The latest from ArizonaSports.com is this. Sean Daly, according to Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell, was charged after engaging in violent and disruptive behavior and causing injury to Paul Bissonnette, while the victim's capacity to resist was impaired. Per the outlet, the aggravated assault charge is a Class 6 felony, the least severe. Daly would also be indicted on a Class 1 misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct from AA. The other men involved in the altercation, as we have gone over, Henry Mesker, John Carroll, Edward Jennings, William Carroll, and Danny Bradley, also arrested. Out of those 5, Bradley, Mesker, and Carroll were originally charged with misdemeanors, though the city of Scottsdale, Arizona, the city of Scottsdale, Arizona, those charges have been dismissed. Currently under review by the Maricopa County DA's office. After the footage was released, Biz would react on Twitter. First part of surveillance is out. Not sure when the outside surveillance gets released, so there is more. Here's these a-holes surrounding the manager of Houston's. This went on after they'd already asked one guy, Daly, to leave, who was screaming in their face. The video of the assistant manager kicking Daly out gets cut before this part you're about to watch. 9 of them came out. I think Daly's facing the worst charges currently because he tackled me and held me down, while 3 of them gave me the boot F after I knocked out William Carroll for charging at me before the dumpster by CVS, self-defense. After Sean Daly was indicted, he obtained the legal services of a prominent lawyer whose name is Lawrence Kazan, who has represented big names in sports previously. Shay Stevens, who exposed this family of alleged inbreds as supposedly being the Irish Travelers, a group that goes from one town to another in the United States of America to hustle. As it has been portrayed, the Irish travelers all live together. They go from town to town, giving these phony construction jobs, phony home repair jobs. And once they get the money, they do minimal work, sometimes hire workers to take the fall, because when the cops show up, they get out of town. And that is only when the homeowners realize that they have been hustled. So Kazan's son apparently would tweet at Stevens to expose them, whose name is apparently Ben. He DM'd Stevens, eat a D Canadian P word. Shea alleges this because he found what seems to be a tweet from Ben about his father, Larry, which read, "Happy birthday, Larry. You're the biggest role model in my life and best father anyone could ask for." When I say that this story is not done, I mean it. Because if Biz is saying that there are more camera angles, then we are going to potentially see more violence that came at the hands of these 6 men. If there are updates, and when they do come, we will provide them to you. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.